Observer reports a senior U.S. diplomat has disputed the White House's account of the attack on the U.S. mission in Libya last year and claims that the State Department's review, quote, let people off the hook, CNN is reporting. In an interview with congressional investigators, Greg Hicks, the former deputy chief of mission in Libya, is quoted as saying, quote, I thought it was a terrorist attack from the get-go. I think everybody in the mission thought it was a terrorist attack from the beginning, which stands in contrast to the Obama administration claims that the attack initially appeared to have erupted from a spontaneous protest. Greg Hicks, who was inside, said, quote, I never reported a demonstration. I reported an attack on the consulate. You know, proving my point, Barack Obama was informed on September 11th, the day that terrorists have attacked us in the past, the biggest terrorist attack on American soil. On that very day, terrorists attacked us in Libya. Now, before we get to the actual attack, let me remind you, Muammar Gaddafi was not a nice guy. Muammar Gaddafi had done bad things. The Lockerbie bombing over Scotland. He had brought home the guy who was responsible for that under the guise that he was ill and then let him go. He had done bad things to Americans, and Ronald Reagan had dropped bombs on him and killed his daughter in the process while he was hiding in one of his tents, killed his daughter in another one. They got his attention, shall we say. And then when Saddam Hussein was dragged out of a hole like a rat and hanged at our urging, Muammar Gaddafi realized, you know what? I need to stop poking that tiger in the eye. That's America. I need to stop poking them in the eye. He voluntarily handed over his chemical weapons. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to live out my years living large, looking at pictures of Condoleezza Rice in this album I've created of her, with all my female bodyguards in tow, and Swedish nurses, which was apparently his fetish. He was no longer a threat to us, nor was his country or his countrymen. In fact, American businesses were making a lot of money constructing pipelines there, because Arabs have zero intelligence when it comes to infrastructure. So American know-how. There's a big Houston company among the companies that were there. A big Houston company supervising the construction of pipelines. America! That's how it ought to be. Making money over there. Well, John McCain and Barack Obama thought it was a good idea for the Arab Spring to spread there. And so the United States assisted the rebels in toppling Muammar Gaddafi. And a lot of dumb Americans said, well, that's good because he's a dictator. We don't want no dictators in the world. We want democracy. Do we? Do we really? Okay. Well, what will democracy look like in Libya? The Muslim Brotherhood. But okay, we want democracy. We want everybody to be just like us, even when they're not. So we supported the rebels, and eventually they went from unable to topple him, as they've tried for years, to bringing in Al-Qaeda and the Muslim Brotherhood from Egypt and Tunisia, outside soldiers largely, and they waged a constant, steady war with our assistance, and they killed Muammar Gaddafi, and they took over control of the country. Guess what? We admitted at the time, we have no clue who these people are. We just know they're not Muammar Gaddafi. Well, then they took over, and we figured it out. It wasn't long until they took over, after they took over, when lo and behold, the Libyan embassy had not been under attack. But now it was. And on September 11th, their crowning glory was the people who came to power by the will of the American government proceeded to attack it. slaughter 4 American citizens, a diplomat, Navy SEAL, two embassy employees. So it occurred, U.S. time, in the early afternoon. Barack Obama was reportedly informed somewhere before or at 4 p.m. Eastern. He went about his daily business, and it is very clear he did not continue to monitor the situation. He went to bed at 10 o'clock with an active engagement still going on. We were told, once we learned that the ambassador, Navy SEAL, and 2 embassy employees had been killed, that we'd come under attack. We were told that this was not because of 9/11. This was not a terrorist attack. This was a spontaneous demonstration to a video that had come out, and this is why you don't piss the Muslims off. That's what we were told. Jay Carney told us that. This was a video. This was a movie. Well, and the media said, oh, I bet that's right. I bet that's one of these Tea Party people. I bet it's one of the people down in Texas. They made a movie, and they made Allah mad, and now we got what was coming at us. Except it was a movie by an Egyptian Christian who had seen firsthand what Muslims do when they're in the majority. Except nobody in Libya had seen the movie because it was a little YouTube video. In fact, nobody in the world had seen the movie. It was a little low-budget, nothing film. But that was enough to distract us. That was enough to get us through the immediate news cycles. It was a red herring to keep us from asking, why didn't Obama send in reinforcements? Why didn't we protect our citizens? Well, what time of year was this? September 11th, before a November election. Less than 60 days before a November election. We can't have the president looking stupid right before he's going to be voted on. And the media played their part. Yes, this was some movie. This is the Tea Party. This is what happens when you let the Tea Party make movies. They make the Muslims mad and they kill us. We got what was coming to us. And now, and then a few days later, we found out that it wasn't the movie. Well, why had Susan Rice been sent out to tell us that? Why had Jay Carney told us that? Why had we spent all this time trying to find this movie that nobody here had seen? Much less there. They don't have internet connections. Libyans are Bedouins. They live in tents. They don't have the internet. What they do have is reinforcements coming in from the Muslim Brotherhood from Egypt and Tunisia and Somalia, who attacked that presidency, toppled it, took control over it, and now are leading a Muslim Brotherhood cell that's operating on Libyan soil, which did not happen before. And as time went on, we kept being told we couldn't hear from the people who were involved. It was the media's fault. It was this video's fault. And Hillary Clinton couldn't speak to us, and then she had a concussion when 3 months later she was finally supposed to speak. And then Obama got reelected, and now we're told by John Kerry that was a long time ago. What does it matter what happened? Well, now they're starting to speak out.